You should have waited. You should have waited, but you couldn't wait. You had to be out here. You had to hit the market. You had to get there before Christmas. You should have waited, and it's going to cost you. Let's talk about these fucking next-gen consoles. So here's the thing. Right off the bat, we gotta go ahead and drop this because people are gonna say, what do you even give a shit, Bill? I know a couple of my friends right off the bat that are gonna say, what do you even give a shit? You're not even gonna buy the next gen consoles. You said you don't give a shit about the PS5, there's not enough exclusives, and there's no reason to buy a console for one fucking game, and you got more than enough to play on your computer. And then there's gonna be friends that are gonna say, you don't even give a shit. You said you just get the Xbox Game Pass anyway. I care. I care because it's important for the industry and for this hobby that I've put so much time into to work correctly. When people lose faith in a product or a company, it can be severe. It can cripple, damage, destroy, end a company. Think about this. Think about all the different times that you've sat around with 4 or 5 friends and you've tried to think about where you're going to eat. And somebody brings up something like Arby's. And immediately there's that one person in the group that's like, I'm not eating there because I got fucking food poisoning. One time. This is some shit that happens. One time. You got food poisoning. You ain't going back. Right? This is a common thing when you talk about consumerism, and as consumers, as people that deal in this shit, all this shit behind me, when we get shit product from shit companies like App Games that continually release shitty Sega Genesis clones, we don't want those Sega Genesis, right? It causes a problem, and it makes it so that if there's another one, we don't buy it. And if we don't buy it, it makes no money. And if it makes no money, that cripples that company. And if a company after a company after a company after a company gets hurt this way, the industry overall suffers. We've seen it before, years ago. And I'm not saying we're headed towards another market crash or something like that. But right now, people are being very careful with their money. We are in a really messed up situation. And inside of that messed up situation where we're watching our own shit, while we're trying to take care of our own money, where we're trying to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves because we don't exactly know where the future is leading us right now, things are uncertain. And we're coming up on Christmas. And here the consoles launch early, and there's all kinds of fucking problems. There are a lot of people trying to cash in on fake problems, such as the console smoking. No, that's vape shit. That's already been proven. And first off, don't blow vape into your system. It's stupid. I don't know what you got out of it. I don't know, maybe you got a bunch of clicks. Maybe that's cool. But your one video that took your channel and got you some clicks, I hope it was worth it. Because I imagine it, like, it's stupid. It's stupid to try to create a problem where there's not a problem. Now, some of these consoles are doing just fine. But we are experiencing problems again. We went from the last generation of consoles had its own fucking problems with the red ring and the yellow light of death. And here we are, right back, consoles released too early, made like fucking garbage, barely, like, this will react negatively on the console market if problems like this consist. Test your fucking consoles. I do not remember, and they were less complicated Yes, but for their time, they were not less complicated. Okay, so kill this argument right off the bat. This argument that says, well, you don't understand. See, PlayStation 5 is a very complicated piece of machinery, unlike the Super Nintendo that you're about to reference. That's bullshit. The Super Nintendo was ahead of its time when it came out in its time. It was a cutting-edge piece of video game technology that took the world by storm. The PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 1, yes, it had a bit of an overheat problem. But even the original units were still fine. They still worked, from what I remember. In fact, I had an original unit, and I never, caught my carpet on fire or anything like that. I know that happened. But, it seems like it was still higher quality. PlayStation 2, it comes out, it does its job. Xbox, it comes out, it does its job. They're sophisticated, on the edge of technology, powerful gaming consoles. And they worked. Then we get here to the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and they're made like trash. They're fucking made like trash. And then, if it wasn't bad enough that the actual system itself was having problems like that, we compounded those problems by doing updates that also damaged the system. I remember the update that happened with the Xbox where it would cause the system to no longer recognize your hard drive. I had a family member that had that happen to them, and one of my consoles suffered it too. I downloaded the update, I updated the system, and it could no longer recognize my hard drive. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. It was some sort of console problem. Then, I remember I updated my PlayStation 3, and it killed the Blu-ray drive. Just, pew. And because of the ones that it was doing this with, there were certain systems that were okay, and there were certain systems that weren't okay. And the systems that came after seemed like they were going to be the ones where you wanted to focus. But then, if you were a person like me, and you took that idea and you said, well, I'm going to wait, I'm not going to buy another one of these PlayStations, not till the next one comes out. Next one came out, the PlayStation Super Slim. So what did I do? I said, that's it. I haven't played The Last of Us. That's a special Last of Us edition. That's a console that's way past the gen that I was thinking of. So, we're already 3 versions in. They have to have fixed the problems by now. Got that fucking console? Nope. Didn't do me any goddamn favors. Because I got that console, and then what happened? Almost a literal week after I got the fucking console, the power supply went bad inside. There was a sensor that was causing the system to think that it was overheating, and it would automatically shut the system down. And so then I tried to fix that, and then I heard something about solder on the boards that isn't good or something like that. And so then I tried to call them, and then can't believe that the response that I got from the PlayStation, from the customer service was, well, send it back to GameStop. And I was like, of course, because it's still on GameStop's warranty. So I remember I tried to take it into, I tried to take it into GameStop, and then the guy hooked up my console to his TV that was in there, hit the button and tested it, and said, seems to work. So he wouldn't take it. So he gave it to me, he gave it back to me, and I took it home, and I played it for an hour, and pew! Shut down. Well, I had this problem reoccurring, so I called PlayStation again and said, will they test it? And because since it's not bricking right in front of them, they just seem to think that it's all right and they won't replace the system. So they said to me, do you have a type of utility shop in your area that will fix the problem? You could send it to them. That's what they suggested I do. Now look, this left a bad taste in my mouth. After losing 3 PlayStation 3s, I was not going to buy a 4th PlayStation 3. Fuck that. And I lost the Xbox twice. I am on my 3rd Xbox 360, and I would be on my 4th PlayStation 3 had I not just simply walked away. And it took me a long time to buy into PlayStation 4. Bought into PlayStation 4, and I will say this. It seems like a decent system. It seems like it works very well. I don't have a lot that I can complain about. I thought that they were back on track. Then we come across this. And we're getting all kinds of memory errors and faulty systems and just one problem after another. And here's what I'm trying to get at. This is why it irritates me so badly and why I worry about it too, because I'm not just going to play computer elitist here and be like, oh, guys should have went PC. Guys should have went PC. Wouldn't went PC. Wouldn't have this problem. Bullshit. Because one of the biggest things about gaming is its versatility. We need things like the console market. We need the console market. We need the PC. We need mobile gaming. We need platforms that give this hobby of ours out to everybody, expand the hobby, bring everybody in, increase the profit margin, and constantly make it bigger and better all the time, and keep the companies competing so that we are the victors. If these companies compete, we get better product, better product, better product, better product. But not if they lose sight. If they lose sight, they start releasing these systems too damn early. And this general concept of patch it later, that has to die. That has to die. This is an attitude that has to die, because this is doing us no favors. If these consoles leave a bad taste in people's mouths and people walk away from the console market, that doesn't mean they're walking to PC. That doesn't mean that I'm going Nintendo. No, some of these people will simply give up on gaming and find different hobbies. There's a million other things you can do. A million other things you can do. You could join a gym. You could become a movie buff. You could write. You could start your own productions in general and maybe get into film or something like that. There are a million things that you could do with your time that you currently spend that time on gaming. Because here's the truth of the matter. We only have so much spare time. Like with me, I do this show, I'm currently writing, and I like to play games. Those are my three major hobbies. But also, I have a couple of other things in there. Like, I like movies a lot. And I like movies a lot, so I got movies that are constantly taking up part of my time. I spend some time with my family, of course. And then I have comic books that I like to read. And I'm fallen way behind on my comic books. But that's because there's only so much time in a day. So, if you give up gaming, you could hit the gym. You could go running. You could do a million other things that could better your life in a million other ways. And I'm not telling you about this crap at, oh, you're wasting your life playing video games. No, that's a choice that you've made. It's a fun, interesting, exciting hobby that does have its payoffs. But if we get a bad taste in our mouth, if consumers get a bad taste in their mouths and they leave gaming behind and the market gets smaller and the profits start to die, this is going to affect us. And rushing these systems was a horrible idea right now because people are looking for things to do. And if these people get in and you don't know where they are, let's say they're 27, 28 years old, moving into their 30s, maybe they're in their 30s, maybe they're like me. I don't have time to rebuy consoles. If I'd have bought a PlayStation 5, if I'd have jumped on the bandwagon and bought a PlayStation 5 and had one of these memory failures, that's it, I'm done. And I'm done forever. And that's not a joke. It's not me exaggerating. It's a very real statement. Had I bought a PlayStation 5 and had one of these memory failures, I would have immediately been put off of the PlayStation 5, and I don't care if they fixed it later on. I'm done. I got other shit to do. Other shit I need to do. And quite frankly, that's what I would then be doing. It was a mistake to rush these fucking systems. And these are problems that you should have tested and you should have known about. And if you didn't know about them, no. In fact, I'm calling bullshit. You fucking knew. You knew there was a possibility. There's no way you didn't know. There's no way that there could be this many reports of this many problems coming out right now and you didn't catch on to a single one of them in your testing. Which means that you released these things to hit the market now. Because you get it out there and you make the money and you deal with the kickback, and just like the Red Ring of Death, we'll make it good later. For right now, just get it in your homes. Please make the investors happy. fuck the investors. Because it's time that the investors woke up too. I realize that you guys want to make money, and I realize you're in it for the short term because there's a million other investments right around the corner. You invest now, you get your money, you dip out, you go somewhere else, the next investor steps in. I know the game, okay? But if you don't look at the long term, which they don't, these people don't, because they're investors. All they want to do is make their money right now. And making their money right now came at the expense of us right now. And for a whole bunch of people that just walked away from this hobby because they're tired of dealing with the bullshit, they're not coming back. And if this continues to happen, if we continue to push out haphazard, half-assed product, it's going to dent the gaming hobby in general. And you may not be able to bounce back from it, or it may literally dent it so hard that it's never quite as good as it is right now, because we're sitting in a literal golden age of gaming. But you know what sucks about a golden age? Everything, every hobby is a roller coaster. Remember, Ninja Turtles, it ruled the world. It doesn't now. He-Man was huge. It's not now. Power Rangers, big, huge, ruled the world. Not now. This is true for every hobby, and right now we are in the golden age of gaming, and these kinds of things are taking that roller coaster up. And now we're starting to do this because we got these shitty business practices that are cutting into people. And sooner or later, people are going to get tired of the bullshit, and the trend is going to die, and we're going to start going down that hill. We're at the top. How long it lasts depends on quality and fan base. Fan base will be hurt by shoddy quality. These practices need to stop. Now, here's the kicker. I've heard people say, and I was one of the people that said it, but I really stopped and I thought about it for a while. I told Shane, I do not get into these consoles at ground level anymore. And I don't. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I have a bad taste in my mouth. I don't like to buy a console when it first comes out, but that's just me. But here's the thing. I need you to do it. I need you to buy the shitty console. Why? Because if nobody buys it at release, if everybody went with my idea, my philosophy, and said, I won't buy a console on release. I won't do it. It's fucking pointless. We know there's going to be problems. Yeah, I was right. I was fucking right. But I wish I was wrong. Because my mentality in this idea that I will not be I will not be a launch fucking test subject, if nobody buys the damn thing at launch, it's over. If nobody buys the console doesn't sell. And if everybody's waiting for the people to buy the console so that we can see if it's worth a shit and nobody's willing to jump on that grenade, then it's dead. And if they make no money, they'll move on to something else. Why? Because they're investors. Because this is how investors make money. They jump from one fucking trend to another. And it doesn't matter what that trend is, as long as it makes that money. Well, right now, they're making a lot of money because they sold every single one of these damn systems that they could make so fucking fast that they couldn't even handle how many people wanted it. And the people that are getting it are not everybody's coming up roses here. And you can't please all the people all the time. But these rumors and these problems and these actual problems are going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths. And I'm telling you, we are about to go down the roller coaster. if these business practices don't stop. And it's not just this. This riled me up, yes, for sure, but it's not just this. We need to look at the whole picture. We need to look at the things like microtransactions that are getting on people's nerves, and we need to look at the fact that games are coming out that are not finished. They just patch them later. That's not okay. We have to get the quality standard back under control, or when we go down the roller coaster, we're not going to hit that second bump that takes us back up. We're just gonna go fucking down. I love this hobby, but it has problems. Don't be oblivious to those problems because they're there. I'm gonna get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will